I am so excited about this video. You see, in great movies, the main character's dream connects the entire screenplay together. And I'm going to show you how. Basically, the yellow, the red, and the green, just think of it as Act One, Act Two, and Act Three. And I'm going to show you kind of how the character travels through the story. And this is a template that I use all the time. And so the character travels through just like an arrow traveling from the beginning to the end of the movie, all the way up until the very end. And then there's three very, very big moments at the midpoint, the end of Act Two, at the very end. And at the very end, it's the dream comes true. That's if it's a happy ending, that's where the dream finally comes true for the main character. And then all along the way, these little yellow notches are where the dream essentially holds the entire movie together. If you just think of them as almost like glue or tape wrapped around these arrows, it's literally the connective tissue throughout this, what makes these great stories. And I'm going to use Everything Everywhere All at Once by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert as an example for this particular lesson. There's always other movies that we can use in the future, which we will. And the screenplay is also written by the Daniels. And you always want to start at the very end with the dream comes true. What is that dream that you want to come true for your main character? In this case, it's the amazing life that Evelyn always wanted. And that's when she resolves her differences and bonds with Joy. And she reconciles with Waymond and realizes just how much she loves him and how happy she is that she chose this life to be with Waymond and her family, and her passion is her family. And you can see them as they're all connected here in this shot. It's a really important shot. The three of them are all connected and completely, deeply happy, right? And Evelyn's father is calm and kind of off to the side, where he was way more powerful in the beginning. And I'll show you how that is. But this is her completely happy, amazing life that she's now kind of starting over again. And that is the end. That's the amazing life. And you always want to go back to the beginning, as I talked about the arrows traveling through just before around page 10. And you can see that the numbers are a little bit different here because Everything Everywhere All at Once is a little bit longer. So Act One ends at 35, midpoint is 65. It's a little different than my basic template that is like a starting point, but it still works perfectly. So you want to set up that dream. What is that dream? Well, in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Evelyn is busy, and all the expectation and the burden and the busyness, all this stuff, the chaos of her life, but she stops to watch this romanticized movie up on the TV. And that's symbolic of her dream, that amazing life. And she's just mesmerized by it. And that is without any dialogue. She doesn't talk about it or say anything, which is in every single great movie. They do not have dialogue with the character talking about their dream. It's something the audience has to feel just by the way that the main character, reacts to it and just is mesmerized by it, like Evelyn. So that's the dream movie. That's what's set up, the amazing life. And as you continue the story, there's always a moment where the dream is possible, where the hero believes the dream is possible. And in this case, this is giving you a nice beginning of the bookends where she's at the audit, but you see she's right in the center and she's connected to her father. Her father's arm and her arm are connected visually. Waymond's off to the side, not even looking at her. She's not happy. She's in her father's control, and he's scowling and looking way more powerful in the shot. He's the biggest character in the shot. So this is a beautiful, beautiful setup. But this is the moment when the main character she realizes there are these multi-universes. She still doesn't understand it, where she can literally go back in time and travel and relive that life that she's now regretting that she made this choice. She's regretting that she chose family over possibility of her accomplishments. So this is her opportunity to sort of test it out and see if this dream is possible. She touches the earbuds, ends up in the janitor's closet with, I call him, or the screenwriters call him Alpha Waymond from the Alpha universe. He's the one that introduces and offers Evelyn this possibility to be the chosen one. He thinks she's the chosen one. So she meets him in the janitor's closet, and it's great how the sequence ends. It's a split screen, which is so symbolic of the dream is possible. I like to put in my template the red and blue arrow is, does the character want to follow the blue, which was the opportunity that was given to the hero? Do they want to go with that opportunity? They're always on the fence. Or do they want to stay in the red, is the life that they weren't happy with? And there's a lot more details that I could talk about in future videos, but that's the moment. She's not sure which side. It's so beautiful. Does she want to go on the blue side, which is basically here, or does she want to go on the red side and go back? And then in the story, as the story progresses towards Act 1, which breaks us into Act 1 or into Act 2, the end of Act 1 into Act 2 is when the hero wants the dream. You really want to believe that the hero wants the dream. They're no longer on the fence. And in this movie, it's when Alpha Wayman realizes, I don't think Evelyn is the chosen one. And for the first time, she's like, give me a chance. She actually wants this. She really wants this. This is a chance for her dream. She wants it. And you really believe that here, or you believe that the main character wants it. And as the story progresses, the dream is in reach. You really want a moment. And in this movie, it's just beautiful because Evelyn is in this amazing movie premiere. She's the star of the premiere. She's a movie star. This is that amazing life. She's literally walking in the shoes of the amazing life. And she sees, we call the filmmakers call him CEO Wayman. He went off when they separated. She went off and became famous actress. He went on to become a CEO, but they weren't together. This is what would have happened to them if they chose separate paths. So she's literally walking in the shoes of that amazing life, that dream that she thinks she wants. So the dream is possible. And then as the story progresses, there's always a moment where the dream is slipping away. She's now knows it's possible. And that's when she sees that this big villain, Jobu Tupaki, who Evelyn has to kill, turns out to be Joy. So it's a big moment that she realizes her own daughter, and it's just beautiful because she just doesn't have any power anymore. She doesn't know with Joy there, or with actually Jobu Tupaki there. She can't do anything. She gets pushed into the other universe, which is the different universe with the hot dog fingers. She's that same video, only everybody has hot dog fingers. It's just like the world is upside down. And Jobu tells her that nothing matters. And that's when we introduce the bagel, that none of this stuff that she wants matters. It's all chaos. Nothing makes any sense and nothing matters. And then to capsulate it, the Alpha Wayman tells her that all the failures of that she's been through in her life, and that's the regret she feels, is that she has a failed life, are what make her the all-powerful. So it just completely confuses her why failure makes her all-powerful, and the dream just does not seem possible now. It's starting to get unsure. And as the story continues progressing, there's all this stuff here we could talk about in future videos, all the things that happen in between. But now the dream is in the hero's hand. There's a moment when there's a failure in the blue spot in the center, and then the spot in the end of Act 2, the red and blue, is when the main character's dream is in hand. And that's this amazing scene when, to protect her family, which is Evelyn's true passion, she comes out and she just kicks butt. It's just amazing. And her family watches her. Her real family. This is actually the real Wayman and the real Joy. And she becomes all powerful. The dream is in play. She literally has it in the palm of her hand. And then there's always a moment in every single great screenplay where everything goes down to the point of the dream is dead. And you really have to believe the dream is dead. And in this case, Evelyn takes nothing matters. She becomes so powerful. She just goes and she literally takes a bat and destroys the life that she's always been unhappy in. Alpha Wayman dies. Jobu shows up. Evelyn tries to fight her, but she becomes so powerful. And then literally all the different universes converge and it just complete chaos. And she's overloaded and she seems to die. The dream is dead. And then the new dream. So that this then once the dream's dead, everything seems to be gone. All hope is lost. Movie's over. It actually does say the end in this great movie right after this moment. On 95, there's a card that comes up that says the end. Basically, the dream is over. There's a new dream now, and in this case, it has new meaning in this great scene where Evelyn and Joy end up in the Rock universe, and she learns about Joy. They kind of bond. She resolves in the normal universe with Deirdre. She learns about Deirdre. She has a discussion with CEO Wayman, and he tells her he's been heartbroken that she left him way back. He would have rather have worked in the laundromat together with her as a family than go on to have all the success he's had. And that's when she realizes, going back to the original universe, she hugs and resolves her relationship with the real Waymond, and then she puts what it's symbolic of the real Wayman and his philosophies of kindness and loving the life that you already have, embracing it, is she puts the eyeball on her forehead and she says she's going to fight like him. So and then the next sequence is this amazing sequence where she kind fights. She literally helps each one of her foes as she doesn't defeat them, but she sends them off on their way into happiness. It's just really one of the most, probably the most amazing fight scene I've ever seen. But then as the story continues, now that this new dream is, she knows the deeper meaning that what she's always wanted is this family. She's got to get Joy back. She's got to save Joy. Jobu's got her under her control, and she's got to save her. So this is that moment when the hero presses for their dream. They almost force the dream to happen. And that's when the bagel shows up to where Evelyn and Alpha Waymond seemingly died. And Jobu says she's going to take Joy with her into that bagel. And that's when Evelyn hangs on tight. And what a great symbolic shot of just her hanging on to her new dream of having her family back. She's hanging on for dear life. And then as the story progresses, again, there's a big fall, the biggest fall, where everything seems to fall apart. And that's when the main character has to commit to this new dream. And they have to commit in a way that is the opposite of what you'd expect. The whole time she's trying to get Joy back. The whole time she's trying to save Joy, to get back to what she now knows is this family, having an amazing life with her family. So what happens is, when she does everything that she thinks Joy would want, Joy explains to her all the past, everything that you've done in the past, and everything, we just aren't a good fit. You can't just fix all this because you just snap your fingers and everything's back to normal, right? So ultimately, then in the other universe, the Rock universe, Joy sees, or actually Evelyn sees the Joy Rock rolling down the hill away from her. And in the universe where Evelyn was hanging on to Joy, she lets her go. She goes the complete opposite. Instead of hanging on to her and trying to get her back, she lets her go into the bagel, which is completely, a surprise, because that's the opposite of what she's been trying to do throughout. And that's the big commitment for Evelyn in this story. She lets Joy go. And then she ultimately returns. The whole family helps her when Joy wants to come out of the bagel. The whole family helps her. And her amazing life is having her family back. What an amazing movie. And it fits just perfectly into this template that you can see all the dream moments, how they're evenly matched across, and it keeps the character moving. It's like it's what brings the character hope in their life, is they want this dream to happen. And then, of course, the deeper meaning at the end of Act 2, going into Act 3, gives the dream a deeper meaning. It's almost like a brand new dream, but still under the same category of an amazing life. So please subscribe to my channel, and in future videos, I will show how this main character's dream in other great movies connects those movies together.